should be like you, Mel.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, Cherries fans from around the world. Welcome back to another edition of Cherry Slaps. I'm sure you've all missed my face and my co-host, who's always with me, Malcolm Chiverton. Welcome back, Malcolm. How are you this evening?
Yeah, good evening, Ollie. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, all good, thanks. Yeah,
good.
Been a long week.
I was about to say. Seems like it's been a longer time this time than before, but we're back to it and. Back with a point, maybe not what everyone was hoping for, but it is a point nonetheless. So a few things to be discussed. We will jump straight into it. Chris Hubble's already in the chat, as always. Evening, Chris. Hoping you're really well. And
evening, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
But other than that, I think we should crack on, Mal, to be honest. And it wasn't the worst performance. It just wasn't the best, right? There was definitely more that could have been done.
Exactly.
However, it was enough, in my opinion, to keep a point for us. So, please do break into the first half.
Yeah, we weren't really on it in the first half. To be very honest and blunt, West Ham started off very well. But Petro kept us in it in the first minute or second minute, whichever way you look at it. Bit cagey after that. I suppose sort of 10, 15 minutes was West Ham. It was a bit cagey, but it was nothing fluent about the game. It was like loads of misplaced passes, stop, start, but nothing to get really excited about, to be honest with you, that first half.
Yeah.
Going in 0-0 at the break, I think was pretty fair, to be honest with you. And obviously, having Andoni in the stands as opposed to on the touchline probably made a big difference. I think obviously if he's been on the touchline, I know he's in communication, but when the boss is actually there, it does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does.
And I mean, he left his seat and they filmed it, obviously, on TV. They rushed down to the dressing room. And I'm sure his notepad was pretty full. So, we know how Bournemouth play, how they like to play, what they do. And they just weren't on it in that first half. So obviously things would have to change in some way, shape or form, whether it be with substitutions or basically just getting a rocket from the boss. I think that probably would have been the more likely, let's just say.
Yeah. I think similar thoughts. I think it was a game definitely of control versus frustration. I think Bournemouth had the better rhythm and the better chances, but West Ham just looked defensively disciplined, I'd say, or at least more defensively disciplined.
I think they were very, very good, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, going into the game, I mean, two of the, I don't know, on the form table in the last five, both Bournemouth and West Ham both up there, in the form table. And Nuno's got them playing. There's no two ways about it. And you could see the way they were playing, the way they started. This isn't going to be an easy game. We didn't expect it anyway, but they got more about them than they had maybe 2 months ago. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And as you said, obviously, just a little bit of a quick run of play just in the Premier League. Our last 5 games, 3 wins and 2 draws, and their last 5 games, 2 wins and 2 draws. So they're only 1 game away from us, really, in the last games, as you said, which is a fair point, I think, to make. Obviously, given where we were, 3 points would have taken us up a little bit further up the leaderboard. It would have leapfrogged us, but has kept us heavily confirmed in 8th place, right? It depends what happens and whatnot. There was a couple of chances for us, though, right? There was a chance around the 30th minute where we just missed, I believe. I know that West Ham offered very little really going forward, bar the odd corner here and there. But there were still chances for us. There were still opportunities for us to get goals and put the goal in the back of the net, right, in the first half.
Yeah. But I think, going back to your point about how good West Ham were defensively, and to me, over the 90 minutes, that was the standout thing, both defenses.
Yeah.
And as good as Jimenez and Trofeo were, West Ham's defenders were equally as good. And they threw, not only with their tackling, but the blocks they put in. So not just the full backs, but also the centre backs as well.
Yeah.
So if you look at it over 90 minutes that way, they cancelled each other out. And it was a very, very odd thing to say this game's going to end up 0-0, because it never does with West Ham.
It's funny you say that. Yeah, obviously the last 10 meetings with West Ham, we haven't actually won yet, have we? We've lost 5 and drawn 5.
Crazy, isn't it? Well, now drawn 6.
Yeah, now drawn 6. From the way that first half looked, you're right. It looked like goals. It was a bit back and forth. It continued to look like something was going to drop over the line. And it's a question I do want to come back to about whether Bournemouth were unlucky, lacking quality, or West Ham were just, I think, the better team in the situation this time. But we'll come back to that at the end of the game. In regards to, so obviously, look, going into the first half, 0-0. Obviously, I think Bournemouth were a bit of the better side in the first half. But coming out into the second half, is there anything that you would have done differently from Iraola?
Up the tempo would be the first thing.
Fair.
I mean, I made the point about misplaced passes, and I mean that was like across the board in the first half. So, keep it simple. Make sure that your passes come on to the players that you're passing to. And try. It's easier said than done, isn't it? Try to get behind them. But West Ham were just so well drilled at the back. They weren't low block, because the second half it was back and forth, wasn't it? So, and there was more intensity in the second half, which is really good. That suited us better. I know we had, overall possession. We had more possession than they did, 58-42. But it was sort of a bit of an odd one, really. I mean, we had to keep certain players quiet. Obviously, the first name that'll come out is Somerville. Now, in the first half, he found space. He made space. He was making things happen. All right, so that meant it was a tough old shift for Jimenez. Bowen on the right, he got absolutely bamboozled by Trofea. He couldn't do anything. I mean, I'll put it out there now. For me, Trofea was the man of the match from our perspective, because he just kept that side of the field very, very quiet. Now, I know that West Ham, when they do go flying forward, their fullbacks can also push on and can be quite dangerous. But if the two players coming at you aren't connecting, so whether there's a breakdown of communication or making the wrong move, so that was their failing. But when the ball did come in, maybe to Bowen, whether it was on the inside or outside, Trofea was there, just keeping him shut out. Yeah. And once again, our central defence, great blocks all the time. They're just very, very disciplined, and it's good to see this, considering not that many weeks back we were conceding goals, stupidly, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're very, very disciplined. Yeah. But things opened up. There were spaces there, and when we moved, like after an attack from West Ham, we got the ball quicker, got it moving quicker, and that's when some gaps opened up. And then obviously, I suppose the big moment really was sort of on the hour mark or whatever, with Rayan. Yeah, and that, just so unlucky, just hit the outside of the post. But that just gives me, and probably a lot of fans as well, the belief that this lad's going to go on and really, really light things up.
Well, not the first time he's made a like that from defence.
That's right.
His way all the way to getting into a shooting position, and then you're right. It had it have been just an inch or two further on the right, that would have gone in, and the keeper would have still stood where he was.
He was rooted. He wouldn't have sniffed it. Yeah. But having said that, Ryan's defensive work was good. Tracking back, so he's certainly not scared of putting a shift in. So it was really, something nice to actually see that.
Yeah,
Alex Scott has got to have a mention.
I was going to come to him. But before I wanted to back up just a few things that you were saying about obviously Bournemouth restarting with intent. You can tell that they came out a bit not more formed, but a bit more aggressive, maybe. As I said, I think intent's the best word. There was just a bit more there to want to go forward, a bit more there for sustained pressure. And we had a few more dangerous crosses, a few more shots from the edge of the box. And it's not often that we come away and we see we've had 10 shots with 4 on target. They've had 18 shots with 2 on target. Usually we see that means the possession goes heavily in their side with those kind of stats. But 57 to 43 obviously shows a different type of game, right? And West Ham had their moments, as you said.
Absolutely,
We kind of lacked that cutting edge, didn't we, after controlling the game? One thing I wanted to bring to, which you touched on, Alex Scott. So obviously, apart from dictating the tempo a little bit and the progression of the ball, would it be fair to say that everything good that happened went through Alex Scott on Saturday? Would you say that's fair?
I think you're pretty spot on there. Yeah. Slightly disappointed with the performances from Adley and Krupi. Once again, not only from our point of view, also West Ham, misplaced passes, and wrong decisions. And it was a common theme, to be honest with you, right through the game. I mean, it wasn't an awful game. Wouldn't say that. I enjoyed it. Once again, big shout to Darren down under. We linked up and watched the game together, and we both enjoyed watching it. When I see the comments on socials and think, tedious was one word that we'd use, and I'm thinking, hello, what game were you watching? But also interesting to see the West Ham point perspective. as I always do every week, look at the opposition, what their fans think. Sort of mixed bag, and I know they're third bottom, but they are playing decent football. And when you look at the other teams, Tottenham, they're 2 points above West Ham, 2 points, and they're in a mess, even with a new trainer. I don't know if you saw the North London derby, but that was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then the Notts Forest Liverpool game. Now, Forest obviously, they're fourth bottom. They give it a go, but they just, it's just one of those days where nothing will go right. And as Liverpool quite often do, score a very late winner.
Yeah.
So, to be honest with you, I just look at the weekend's results and thinking to myself, well, any of them can go down. I know the West Ham fans, certain parts of the fan base are going like, well, look at our next 3 games. So I say to the coach, come on, look at the next game, not the next 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I have to come back to a point that you just made about people making comments on the game, because there's a few that I saw actually this time, and it's getting a bit, I'm going to use the word tedious now. It's getting a bit tedious seeing similar comments from similar people, and it almost being like, I think it's a bit unfair on our boys and on our team.
I think so too.
To be basing it on that one game, coming away with negative thoughts and going, well, why didn't we do this? Or why haven't we done that we're working towards? And why wasn't this bloody perfect? And I just think it's a bit unfair, like we have to take it all, although we are doing it game by game, as you always say, rightfully, the overall result has to be taken into account, and as we do always, we look at taking that point away, right? But I think a hell of a lot of people, or too many people, are looking at going, we've lost out on 2 points there.
I don't think we have, to be honest with you.
Neither do I. That is right. I think it's a tough game. I think away with a point.
Exactly that. Over the 90 minutes, if we'd have lost that 1-0, I'd have said, well, West Ham deserved that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you. I mean, they had chances as well. I mean, that was it, Tate, wasn't it? That overhead kick. Wow, second half.
Yeah.
Callum Wilson almost again. Yeah. Thank goodness he didn't. But Petro saved us again, you see. So, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and I think the best way to look at it is it wasn't a bad performance. It was more of an incomplete one, right? We were solid defensively, but frustrating offensively.
Absolutely.
Accurate, yeah. As you've rightly put up there, Paul from Oz. Hi, Ollie and Malcolm.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for joining us, mate. Hope you're well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope you're well, Paul. We are just towards the end of the game, but there's quite a few things that I want to bring up because the game annoyed me a bit, rightfully. Not in a negative way, but definitely from a feedback point of view, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Iraola should have noticed this or known it. Should Iraola have looked at this slightly differently? We like how reactive he is to certain strategies or certain games changing. We're entering this game knowing that we haven't won against West Ham in 10 games. We come out of the second half. Should there have been more? Should there have been a little bit of something different? Like, is this where we would have expected him to go, right, we need to gain 3 points here. This is how we'll get them. Was the approach maybe done wrongly this time?
I wouldn't say so. Obviously, he'd have been very frustrated and, in fact, annoyed of the first half performance. So there was a reaction at the start of the second half. You saw that, so that was enough. But it was that last third all the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how good your trainer is and what he tweaks and changes, and even with the subs, the subs weren't bad. But
Yeah. So it brings me down. It brings me back to what could have been the problem, and I didn't want to bring it up, but you have.
go on.
Is it those new four at the front? We can't expect everything to work brilliantly, and I think what we've got there is we've got four really good players that have all shone on their own at some point.
Yeah.
Then I think it's tough to then put Evan Nilsson, Krupi, Adley, and Rayan all up front without our original Bournemouth spine or someone in there controlling the creativity or how in front of a goal someone's going to get. Is that maybe what we're missing? Maybe do we need to rein it back in a little bit?
Well, I just certainly left one out of the four. Didn't matter who. I probably would have started with Eva up front anyway, because we know what he brings. You'd either take Rayan out of the equation or Adley to start. All right, to start, because you can always change things over, can't you? All right, so I think if we had 3 out of the 4 starting, would have been fine. And maybe Brooksy in or Tav in. So yeah, it's a tough call, but they've all played their part. So I can understand why Andoni plays them.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And look, I'm not questioning the decision because it could have gone any other way, right? Like they could have ended up finishing 2 of those shots and all of a sudden this is an entirely different conversation, right?
Yeah.
And Iraola's got it perfect again.
Yeah.
So that perfectly leads on to my next question. Obviously, Tav came on the pitch. Would we have expected more of an impact or more of a Bournemouth philosophy to have come in then because Tav came on, or I kind of felt that it was a bit lackluster again from Tav, to be honest. But is that because he's just come back to get some minutes now?
Well, when he came back on, when he actually came on, within, his first action was that blazing run that he made.
Yep.
So if that doesn't show intent, I don't know what does.
Oh yeah, hunger for yes, true. Yeah, very true.
So, but if they're not all on the same wavelength, and this is a problem, isn't it? When a sub comes on, difficult, and it was just one of those games where it didn't matter, point or 3 points or no points, and West Ham will feel maybe hard done by slightly. I wouldn't say fully, but slightly. That they could have nicked it at the end. Once again through Bowen, but people said, "Oh, that should have been a penalty." Or I couldn't see that as a penalty anyway. Both going for the ball. No, I think at the end of the day, Andoni's done as best he can with what he had against a very well organised West Ham team.
Yep.
Bearing in mind they're fighting to stay in the Premier League, and that is the issue. And that is the issue, isn't it? So like I said, Nuno's got them ticking. Not 100%. Yes, they lack a little bit of quality off the bench. Was it Potts is suspended, wasn't he? So one of their influential players, just put it that way. So it's but I think they had enough about them, West Ham.
They did.
They'd have been a little.
They did.
A little bit more composed in front of goal, perhaps.
Yep. Yeah. Talk Fan TV, evening Talk Fan.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Next session, Europe. Here we are getting closer to those discussions. I know that Malcolm is.
It's not April. I'm gonna put it on the next thumbnail.
Yeah, it's not April.
It's not April.
Well, it does bring me on. There wasn't too much to discuss tonight, but there are 2 more points that I wanted to bring up in particular. Chris says should have won that game against West Ham. but probably
Thanks
should
for your
have.
comment.
Probably should have. But I mean, we took a point from it, which I'm happy with. And just in now as well, Paul from Oz think West Ham could stay up, but probably be decided in last 1 or 2 games, which would be really exciting. It would be exciting anyway.
I mean, that bottom of the table battle now is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, I've studied that all weekend and then had a look today. And I mean, I mentioned 2 weeks ago that the fixtures West Ham and Forest have. All right, so, but I didn't anticipate Tottenham sliding so quickly down towards them.
Yeah.
So very, very cool. Yeah, go on. You're going to say something. I've still got some notes here. So
that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, interesting about Tottenham. I know it's going to be it's going to be an exciting, next 10 games. Put it that way for the season to close out. For a few teams, for a few teams for sure. I mean, it could all change at the moment.
It's crazy.
It's tight.
It really is. It is. It's crazy.
So yeah, look, I know that it's an April conversation. April's not that far away now. I want to start easing you into it a little bit, Mel. So there was a question.
Hang on. Hold up.
It's look, if we were going to discuss it hypothetically, and we were where we wanted to be, right? Say that we're a season ahead and we're battling for Europe. These draws against teams like West Ham, who are currently battling for relegation. Can you judge football on saying that these are the games we should absolutely be winning if we want to be European contenders? Or is that unfair?
I think that's unfair on the opposition, to be honest with you.
Okay.
That's my take. That's my take on it.
I feel like a lot of fans may have an alternative opinion, and I think that
quite entitled to. Yeah.
That for games against West Ham, that I understand we've had 10 games where we haven't beat them. It's been 5 draws, 5 losses, or whatever. We're past that. We're not that Bournemouth anymore, right? So in some people's minds, you'd like to think that we're progressing past 5 draws and 5 losses against a team like West Ham who's battling for relegation. Now, in the future, I just feel like we should be technically entering those and expecting 3 points. Next season, they should be absolute 3-point games, right?
We're building.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm 100%.
We're building for the future, right? Before you carry on with your E word, right? First 2 points I've got written down here. The next target is 40 points.
Yep.
All right. So obviously you're going to be looking to beat Sunderland at the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I'll take us on to 41. So you can tick that one off. All right. The second point I made is consolidate a top 10 finish. So we're currently 8th. Right, so, which is very good considering, what did we finish 9th last season?
That's correct, yeah.
And what did we get for it? 143.4 million.
Yeah.
So you're talking around about 150 million.
Yeah, but
maybe in 8th place.
Right. So
Sorry?
It paid for the stadium. So
exactly. Like I said, we're building.
Yeah.
Not only on the pitch, but off the pitch. And we're building towards this target of your E word.
Yes. Yeah. And look, I didn't want to break it too much, right? But there are other things, as you said, on and off the pitch that aim towards this E word, and one of them that we've spoken about on the show a few previous times is the Category 1 Academy, which I found out gets released on the last day of March. Apparently, we find out.
Great.
So I think there's a big press release. There'll be a newsroom about it, and it'll be posted somewhere. I'll find out more information, but that's to our ears and eyes very soon. In which case, it is only going to get better, as you said.
We had a little 4-0 win, the under-21s today, by the way, against Millwall.
Oh, fantastic! Good to hear.
I watched it. Really good. Really
Nice.
good.
Good.
There was some very, very good individual performances there.
Good. It's good to hear that that's still the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
And I think one of the necessities here is continuing to build out from internally, and
Yeah.
our recruitment can be great, but as we've seen, there's going to be some diamonds in the rough internally that still make us a similar amount of money, or still make us a similar amount of goals or saves on the pitch, and they're up and coming, right? So
I think three of them that actually played today, they were in and around the first team squad, obviously on the bench, which is really good.
Yeah.
So, it's good that they're still kicking the ball around and, learning, developing.
Yeah.
Really good. And you've got to give a shout out to the ladies as well. Had a 2-0 win yesterday against Gwalior United after their first loss. So, yeah, well done to the ladies.
They're doing fantastic. Yeah. And I just want to say now, obviously, this is something that I haven't thought about or brought up in football for a long, long time. And I'd like to know everyone's opinions on it, ready for next show. And that is Jimenez's hair.
Bloody awful.
I don't know about you, but back in the day, Mal, it used to be a thing, didn't it, for footballers?
It
I mean,
did.
about Beckham, he had 12 different iconic hairstyles. I think it is something crazy. And I really want to have a big shout out and a big focus on Jimenez's hair, because I don't think there's enough focus on things like that nowadays. And he's really gone out there, and I just don't think it's worked for him. Bless him. But
did he go to Lewis Cook's shop?
I'm not sure, but
He's got business, hasn't he?
Someone somewhere has gone, that looks great, and you need to get out on the pitch against West Ham with that. And he stood out for sure, and fair play to him. But I think had this have been 2005, he'd be in the front page of newspapers up and down the country for that haircut. So I think it is put it out. Because it's not 2005 anymore, and now it's all the phase having different haircuts. But crikey, we haven't seen one like that for a while, so it needs to be pointed out.
It didn't slow him down, though, did it?
No, it didn't. No, he was still well in the thick of it for sure. And obviously, Chris Hubble says let's win against Sunderland on Saturday. Yeah,
it's a lunchtime kickoff, by the way.
Is it? Oh, well, in actual fact, I'll let you all into a secret. I won't tell you where and when, but I may be involved in a charity football match myself on Saturday morning. So I'll make sure there's a picture posted up on the chat for that. Unless I come away with a pulled muscle, which is very likely as well.
Mind your hamstrings, mate.
Yes. Not looking forward to it. But we'll see. We'll see. 7 aside. We'll see how we get on. You're absolutely right to shout it out, Chris. Sunderland on Saturday. I'm sure there's going to be a Dean Court social for a pre-build up to it. I'm sure there's going to be. I'm sure Craig will do a couple of videos here and there surrounding it as well. There'll be all sorts. So keep your eye on the channel as always.
On the sideline Saturday morning with Matt and Paul.
Yes, Saturday morning with Matt and Paul.
It's got to be one. Who were your standout players, by the way, on Saturday?
I'll be honest, it mainly came down to Alex Scott. Senesi was all right as well. Petrovic stood out. There wasn't really too much you could shout about any of them that wasn't different from other matches, right? But yeah, I think it's important to notice the consistent solid performance, and it always seems to be. Well, I mean, Scott and Senesi are always up there for me, to be honest.
It was good. It was good that player of the match was actually Trofea.
Yeah, and fair, and you shouted that you give that one up. Right? So,
but also the second half from Jimenez was really, really good.
Yeah,
because he got tighter to Somerville, didn't allow him quite so much space.
Yeah, that's right.
And to be honest, they relied an awful lot on him, didn't they? But he was absolutely. He had nothing left in the tank towards the end of the game, young lad. I'm not surprised. But
What happens when you give it your all, right? And I think that's the reason I'm quite excited for Sunderland is they're only going to build on that performance against West Ham. We know that it was a lull in performance compared to previous performances, and
yeah,
we know we're going to go into Sunderland wanting 3 points. You know, even if we get one, we're going to be gunning for 3. Paul from Oz says we certainly owe Sunderland one, that's for sure. I think we'll win. Standout player was Trafer, so he agrees with you, Mel.
yeah.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the comment.
Yeah, appreciate everyone's time tonight. I understand, look, it's the first one back in 2 weeks. Might not have been on people's schedules or people's calendars, but we appreciate you joining us and getting involved nevertheless. For me, it's a farewell for now, but I look forward to seeing you next Monday. We're not doing it next Sunday, are we? It'll be next Monday again.
Well, unless you want to change it.
I'd throw some ideas in the comments. If you'd rather it next Sunday, let us know. But I mean, for now, I'm happy doing it on the Monday rather than the Sunday, and keeping it on Mondays moving forward. But that does mean you've got to wait over 48 hours rather than a shorter amount of time. 12:30.
I mean, it's something we can discuss anyway, isn't it? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But for now, up the Cherries. Have a great week. Enjoy the Sunderland game, and I will catch you on the next Cherry Slaps.
Up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Melvin.